Hello everyone and welcome to another F1 Manager 24 video at Zandvoort.
We're back from the summer break with topped up tans. Vacation though is now over and it's time to get serious on the track for the second half of the F1 season.
Red Bull have outscored their rivals to be at the top of the constructors table right now. And 15 rounds in, the teams are still fighting hard for every last point.
Let's see then how the weekend unfolds.
Practice 1, fairly standard P15 and P20. Practice 2, don't actually think I'm going to bother scrolling down, P16 and P18. And practice 3, P4 and oh god, go on, scroll faster, P22. Nice. Nearly had the two most important positions, first and last, but yeah, feeling confident into this weekend. Hopefully some new upgrades, we can put our foot firmly forward.
Our weekend continues with qualifying as the drivers fight it out for a strong grid position.
Qualifying consists of 3 periods, with the slowest drivers eliminated after each one. With the pressure mounting, who can secure a strong starting position for the race?
There's Red Bull's driver there getting ready for today's session. What have you made of them recently, Karun?
You can tell that we've been watching a driver with real confidence here. And it makes a difference, I can tell you from my own experience.
Strap yourselves in. This is Formula One.
So Max Verstappen is out of Q1, which is at his home race, which is a bit mental. Both drivers starting their first 5 lap of the session. I've got a weird feeling that Gio might be quicker than Iwasa around here, you know. I reckon this might be one of his tracks. It's Gio's home race coming up next at Monza after this. And Iwasa is getting blocked by Kick Sauber, brilliant. And Gio also gets blocked by the same Kick Sauber, brilliant. I really wish they would fix that. I mean, they're not going to, because they're not going to make any more F1 Manager games, but yeah, that's annoying the way they're still getting away. P7 for Iwasa and P14 for Gio, not great. P13 and P21. Right, so we're starting again for a second flying lap. I don't know why I've gone on to 1 times speed and then back on to 2 times speed, but through the first sector, hoping for a green sector, no one to block us apart from this Aston Martin, who gets cleanly out of the way. Now we should have no traffic for the rest of the lap with Gio. And Gio has gone yellow in the first sector. For Iwasa it's a green, and the Aston Martin is going to block us. Can you sense that it's a bit annoying? Coming up towards the line, what's it going to be for Gio? It's green in the second sector. Comes across the line, it's going to be P19, Gio's out, and Iwasa is going to go P11. Nice, not bad. Decent pace, but P13 and P21 in Q1. Not great. Let's move on to Q2. Right now in Q2, about 13 minutes left of the session on a scrubbed set of soft compound tyres. We'll save a fresh set for the last lap and in Q2, and we'll save a fresh set for the last lap in Q3, because we have 2 fresh sets, but obviously we want to keep one for Q3, or we may only have 1 fresh set actually, I don't know, I've not checked. But it's green in the first sector, green in the second sector, because of course it is. We've not put a lap time down yet. But coming up towards the line, what's it going to be? Only 2 cars still on their outlap, everyone else on lap. Hamilton does a 109. We're 8/10 off Hamilton, that's not bad. Considering that Albon's not much closer to Hamilton. But on our second lap now, so we're going to do 2 scrub and 1 fresh then it would seem. Yeah, because we will only have 1 fresh set for the session, and we get blocked by a Ferrari of, I'm going to assume that's Lewis Hamilton. Thanks, mate. Really, really, really kind of you. I think we're going to try and complete this lap, but there's just no point. I don't know why I actually hung him out there. Surely I'll box him. Surely I'll box him. No, I'm going to let him finish the lap. What's it going to be?
Let's see.
No improvement. What a surprise. Right, Leclerc's got an issue, and now we're doing our final lap in Q2, sorry. Going through the first sector, we've got an Aston Martin for Slipstream. I hope he's on a lap and he isn't going to hold us up. It does appear that he'll be on a lap. He's going quite quick. We're going to be the last one to cross the line apart from Albon and that Kick Sauber. So we're going to be fourth last to cross the line. Yeah. Oh, and there goes a bit of lap traffic getting out of the way. We're P9 currently. So it's a fairly decent lap. It's green and yellow. We're going to come towards the line. I'm going to try and get a decent position here. What's going to be as we come across the line?
We are in P10.
We're going to stay P10. I think that could be us out, especially with someone like Bottas and Gasly never... No, Bottas and Gasly did set times. Okay. What can Tsunoda do? Can he knock us out? I think he's going to knock us out, isn't he? Yep, Tsunoda knocks us out. It's going to be P11 and P21 on the grid for race day.
It's a tremendous atmosphere once again here in Zandvoort, with 72 laps awaiting the drivers here today.
Zandvoort's highly banked corners make it one of the more unusual Grand Prix circuits. Dutch driver Max Verstappen won with a dominant lead here in 2021, driving the home fans to a frenzy as he did.
To carry speed through the steep banking of Zandvoort, teams will need to be loading downforce onto their cars this weekend. Zandvoort has the second shortest lap time of the whole F1 season. The track tolerates no mistakes. Well, there's nothing quite like it. Welcome along to race day. Well, it's great to have you with us, folks, as we settle in for the weekend's Grand Prix action. And it's always an entertaining race when Yuki Tsunoda is involved.
Starting P8 is decent for them. Provided they keep the race clean, there's points on the table.
So let's see what today has in store, shall we? The drivers are ready and the crowds are waiting. It's the Dutch Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
And indeed it is lights out, away we go. It's a wet race, by the way. I feel like I forgot to mention that. Yeah, Gio straight down to P22 fighting Verstappen as the last person on the track. Verstappen's having mechanical issues as well. Iwasa does a stellar move on Pierre Gasly. When Max's issue is orange already, as Gio tries to fight Max but gets shoved off into the gravel, classic Max style. Iwasa comes up to P10 and I've got no idea where this pace has come from.
Barely any room to
And Gio overtakes Daniel Ricciardo for P17, which is nice. And Albon gets Iwasa and Gio's back down to P22. Huh? I don't know, maybe. Okay. Gio gets Ricciardo for P21, and he shoves Ricciardo off the same way Max did to him. And there's Gio getting past one of our cars. I think that might have been Liam Lawson. And Iwasa gets into P10. By the way, there is a vote. If you want to vote on if we stay at Haas, go back to Mega Gamer F1 or something else on the community tab of the YouTube channel. So if you want to vote on where we end up at Season 3, make sure to vote soon, because I'm starting to play this game a little bit more often than what we used to. Oof, contact between Ricciardo and Lawson. Also Ricciardo and Behrman then, it would seem. As Iwasa's up to P8 and Sainz gets in, but he's on fresh inters, so he's not our battle. It's everyone behind, but soon the track's going to become dry and we're going to have to hold on to these tyres. As Iwasa's up to P6 and Ocon's having a run at Gio, and we're trying to hold him up. We're trying to hold Ocon up because he's Iwasa's rival in this race at the minute. And here's Tsunoda. I don't actually know what happened there. I'm assuming it's a mechanical issue.
A couple laps or sooner than that?
There's, sorry about that. There's Gio up into, Iwasa up into like P3 or something stupid like that. Or P4, sorry. As he comes into the pits now for his second set of the intermediate compound. Hopefully it's going to be a quick stop. It's quite a slow pit lane. I've never realised it was so... Oh, it's because I've got it on 1 speed. 2.4, yeah, that's not bad. Compared to the F1 Manager 23 Mercedes career, that's good. Because we used to get like 3.1s on there. I do not miss those days. And Iwasa comes out just behind Gio. But Gio's coming in this lap, so that'll be alright. Although we do make them swap cars halfway around the lap because Gio was a lot slower than I thought. And he comes into the pits now on lap 23, and Iwasa's up to 12, 4 seconds off Ocon. 2.3 second stop for Gio, nice. Comes out in P19, and there's a safety car.
Right, let's have a look
As soon
now.
as he comes out, which is going to lose us. An absolute crap ton of positions.
Up in the wall.
And there's Zhou Guanyu spinning into the barrier up to banking, a bit like Max did, but he crashed straight on. Tsunoda and Verstappen are coming in. They're the people we are with, so we need to be P5 ideally. We're in front of Tsunoda and Verstappen, and I'll be happy, because then we haven't lost anything. Right, there's Tsunoda right there. The V carb in front of the Red Bull, and we've come out in front of them both, which is good. It means we've not lost anything. We have lost a fair bit of Gio though. With P8 and P17 as it goes green again. And it is lights out, and away we...
Remember, no overtake until you cross the line.
Go. There we go, finally. Hamilton's got a mechanical issue.
I got no power.
That's what happened. Now with the Haas. Can they squeeze by?
There's Gio making a lunge at turn 1, nice, up to P16. Now up to P15. Leclerc's down here in P13, I wonder how he's got there. Iwasa gets Ocon up to P7, 33 laps in, halfway through this race. We have got some pace. Iwasa overtakes Ocon, but that's because DRS is enabled because it's dry tyres again. So we need to start conserving soon to save the temps. And Iwasa's up to 6th as he overtakes Norris. Norris then gets him back.
Okay, so heading
But
into
we're
turn
trying to
one.
keep the temperatures cool. We're not focused on racing, but because our tyres are overheating, but they're overheating less than everybody else's, we're able to catch up with them, as you've just seen with Gio there, up to P14. Iwasa here up to P6, and saving ERS at the same time, which is awesome. And now on lap, we converted Gio to a 3-stop, by the way, on lap 40. Gio comes in, long stop, 4.1 seconds, mistake made. Gonna have to try and iron out those mistakes. We're only currently getting 4 points in the pit stop championship.
And that's the moment they lose it. In the end, just
There's
a
Oliver
helpless
Behrman and
pass.
Kevin Magnussen. Oh dear. Oliver Behrman spins. I don't think that was because of contacts, because there wasn't any contact on my screen. Gasly has a mechanical issue, and Gio is going to go down the inside into turn 1, up to P19. Oof. And a lunge into turn 2, and he eventually gets, I think that's Oliver Behrman. Oh, sorry, Liam Lawson.
Engine's not running smoothly.
Iwasa's up to P3, by the way. This is a stonking performance. And Hamilton and Leclerc are fighting, and Hamilton's engine is about to go bang bang. And Iwasa comes into the pits. I'm surprised Max's hasn't gone yet. 2.4 second pit stop. We're going to be out just in front of Ocon, I'd hope, and in front of Porsche. Not quite in front of Porsche, but definitely in front of Ocon. So we need to quickly get through Porsche and throw an obstacle right in Esteban Ocon's face. And he now loses 2 seconds to us while trying to get through him. And Ricciardo pits just as we come up to him. And Leclerc overtakes Giovinazzi. I wish it was the other way around, but unfortunately not. And Gio comes into the pits anyway, so it's not like that's going to affect his race. Iwasa's back up to P6, by the way. 2.1 second pit stop for Gio, that's a lot more like it. Is that the quickest stop this race? Damn. Carlos Sainz is now struggling with issues as Gio gets Logan Sargent up to P17. Now Teo Porcher up to P16 as he's on fresher tyres than everyone else with his third stop. And Ollie Behrman, who's having an absolute stinker of a race, has spun round again. And I think Daniel has a mechanical problem, and Max overtakes us with 3 laps to go while we're trying to chase George Russell down. Max overtakes us for P5, we drop down to P7, back up to P6 when we overtake George Russell, and with 2 laps to go trying to fight Verstappen, but one of our cars gets in the way. How annoying. Deserve to be sacked for that. And we get past a Ferrari of Lewis Hamilton up into P5, and on the final lap DRS up towards the line. It's not the well, now we've just started the last lap, so that wasn't the finish. We've not finished P4 just yet, but it looks like it's going to be P4 or P5 as George Russell has a puncture. This race is not ending smoothly for anybody, and as we come up towards the line, it's going to be P4 for Iwasa. 30 seconds off the lead, but P4 held off Verstappen well, who started P22 in fairness, but P11 to P4. Where did that pace come from? I've got no idea. I think it's P12 actually to P4, but yeah, no idea where that pace came from. Gio is going to be the last of the non-lapped finishers, apart from George Russell. Yeah, it's going to be P1, P1, Christ, that would be nice. P4 and P14 from P11 and P21. So
Like the race we wanted today.
they're done as good as each other in a way. But yeah, Gio's performances recently have not been good, and he hasn't scored points in a very long time, so maybe if we do stay with Haas, we're going to have to look for drivers elsewhere.
Finish today, no points and lots to think about.
And Carlos Sainz heading up to the podium now, the Spaniard adding another to his record.
4 superb wins to their name now this year, and it's been a pleasure watching them drive.
A sea of smiles all around. They're on top of the world, here in Zandvoort. Now, Karun, I'd be really keen to know, how do you think the Haas team will be reflecting on today's result?
It was a strangely mixed weekend for them. We saw one driver put in a strong performance, but it was a different story for the other. Definitely positives there though.
And that then marks the end of events here at Zandvoort.
We now look ahead to the next round in Monza in Italy. The Temple of Speed is waiting and the teams will be ready and raring to go.
But anyway, let's ignore that for the minute. We'll give Gio to the end of the season regardless of how bad his performances are. Iwasa gains a place in the Drivers' Championship, gets P4. We win the Pit Stop Championship, but I think Red Bull outscored us. Yeah, Red Bull did, McLaren didn't. So we were the second best team in the Pit Stop Championship that race. If you did enjoy, be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you for the Italian Grand Prix next time.